Hi everyone, it's me again with another business advice, story, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be talking a lot about our experiences with customers and different aspects that, comes with having a business that a lot of times people don't even think about the, kinds of experiences that we go through. And how a lot of customers call me all the time, right? Customers that are looking for like cheap labor, looking for like a good deal, which is pretty much but especially in the service industry, it's like equals to cheap labor. And this conversation I had yesterday was, I gotta talk more about the full conversation. I got so much to unfold, but one of the funny things that I was thinking while I was writing my blog, I was thinking about that she said, I don't think you're trying to sell me your service. I don't think you're trying to, doing a good job convincing me of getting your service. And I didn't think about that till like right now. Those words came out back ringing to me. And I thought about it, how, what I would say is, or I will tell you guys, is that in fact, yes, she is absolutely right. I am not trying to convince any customer to get my services. I shouldn't. As an ethical business owner, all I'm here to do when you call to inquire on my services is to explain you what my services are all about, how we operate, what it entails, and how we work. And if that's something that interests you, that's something that you're looking for, then you can go ahead and hire us. But I shouldn't have to try to convince you or say things to to persuade you into hiring us, because that only leads to misunderstandings. And at the end of the day, there's no worse thing than to working with a customer that just wasn't 100% satisfied with your service because they understood that you were going to, when it feels like I want your business, to them it just feels like I'll do just about anything for you to have your business and to have your satisfaction. And in this industry, unfortunately, that is impossible. And in most industries, as a matter of fact, there's no matter what you do, how you do it, there's always going to be things that the customer is not going to understand. And number one is that many times the customer just doesn't have the budget to meet the expectations that they have. And anybody having a business, they know what I'm talking about. Just like with my employees, like if I have this, contract or agreement with them that I'm going to pay them X amount of money per hour. And whether they do an amazing job or they do a poor job, like I still have to pay them for their time. And if I feel like they're just not getting the concept, or they're not putting as much effort as their other fellow employees or as I would expect, then I just won't call them anymore. I won't give them any more work, or I will fire them. But I'm not just going to, people assume that just because we estimate a certain number or whatever, or they're not satisfied with the job, that they can just get to like pay us less. And this is not how it works. So definitely, well, that's one example, right? Many times customers say things that put things, they gaslight you into, or they manipulate you for you to say things that they want to hear so that they go ahead and hire services. But don't fall into those traps. That it never ends up well. If you tell them, the customer, this is how much I charge, this is how much hours I can offer you, this is a system that I have, this is how I do business, and they respect that, that is your customer. If they can't understand it, they have too many questions, if they try to manipulate you, like, but what if I don't like this, and what if this, and what if that, then you have to realize that they're not understanding what you're saying, and you have to unfortunately let that customer go, because he just wasn't for you in the first place. He's only gonna give you problems. And I trust me when I tell you, no amount of money. And even when they say I have this enormous house and I'm gonna give you a lot of work and and many times those jobs are not costing you more money than what you end up making. So don't be greedy. It's better that you have really good in focus, that you want to work with people that understand your business, your concept, and that respect your business, versus working with customers that they claim or they promise they're going to give you a lot of work only to get the best deal out of you. And that's just not good. Don't fall for those traps. If I have to try even a little bit hard to convince you to hire my services, then maybe you don't need my services. Like, nobody should be convinced to purchase something that is not for them, that they're not ready for. Like, I'm not a salesperson. I am just a business owner, or if somebody has to hire somebody to take over the phone calls, like, they wouldn't be my salespeople. They would be my representatives, and they will do exactly what I'm doing, which is explain to the customer what we offer, how we operate, what our fees are, the kind of service that we offer. And if that's something that they're interested in, if it works for them, then they can go ahead and hire us. But I shouldn't try to convince people to hire services over other services or over other companies if we're not the right fit for them. If I have to bend over backwards to convince them, then I wouldn't feel right, because at the end of the day, the kind of service that we have is so personalized, and it's so, we deal directly with the customer. It's very complex. So to me, I prefer cleaning for people that are easygoing, that are not going to give us problems, that are going to understand what we offer, that are going to really appreciate what goes into the kind of service that we do, the kind of effort that, ethics that we bring to the table, everything that we are doing. Because cleaning services is a very honorable service that people that do it provide. So for us to be begging people and to try to convince them and to do things to just kind of like meet certain unrealistic expectations, it's just not something that ever works out well. Because at the end of the day, we're here to clean and to provide certain service. So ideally, yes, we want to make a place look as ideal, as perfect as possible. But when, for whatever reason, for whatever factors, that doesn't happen, if that doesn't happen, then we're left with unsatisfied customers. We're left with underpaid jobs. We're left with a very messy, bad experience of, whether, like, for us is I'm always down in the thorough cleaning. So it's a very physical, very tiring, very exhausting service. And on top of that, to have an angry customer or to have an unsatisfied customer at the end just putting you down and telling you all the things that they didn't like about the service is just one of the worst experiences. Like, every time that happens to us, I literally want to go back in time and tell that customer, you're not the one for me. You're already asking too many questions that lead me to believe that you're just trying to get, a cheap service. And that's not what we're all about. So I think you're better off looking for another company. And so that's it for now. If you want to hear more about the story, go ahead and follow and check out our YouTube as well.